it is, there's a level of immaturity of putting your own whatever on another individual.
Oh yeah, I said that earlier.
Whatever the case may be.
Tastemakers.
Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Alright. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living.
Mike Teezy is rocking out a show. After the show, he get a DM from a fan in the joint, and the joint reads kind of long, and it reads like this. Matter of fact, let me find a official joint here so I can read it on Facebook.
Yeah, I can't see that.
Teezy. There we go.
You never.
Yeah, no, you can't nobody read that. So can't nobody read that. Okay, so it says, I attended your event on Friday night in Mesa, Arizona, and was completely disappointed with how your leadership was demonstrated. The only person who gave some word to the youth was Third Day. I waited to see if you would administer an altar call, but nothing. So I went to the stage and motioned to your DJ, and he turned his head like, what you doing? So I walked on stage to ask him if there could be an altar call.
What?
And he said, it's up to Mike.
This dude's got to be white. This dude's got to be white.
I did approach. Yeah, I did approach.
This person's
Mission,
black?
And Mission, who's, I don't know. Mission, who's going to be at Domination 2023 next Friday, by the way. I approached Mission, and his response was, no, by the emoji, dude is definitely white or Asian. I don't know. Then I looked for you, and you were busy taking pictures with people from you charged to flick up. I walked up, ashamed of how Jesus was represented within your group. Music is the fishing pole to lure them to the altar, not a concert, because at the end of the day, those children and teenagers need to be watered with the truth, not words that tickle their ears. Examine thyself to show yourself approved.
Management.
I feel like the person who wrote this, I feel like the person who wrote this had on a salmon-colored polo with a green logo.
And
he had a sweater tied around his shoulders, tucked under the collar of the salmon-colored polo. I feel like he had on khaki shorts with a brown belt. All his whole outfit came from Brooks Brothers. I feel like he had on boating shoes.
What his hair look like?
He had a part on the side. He had the Mike Pence, but a little longer.
Ooh.
And it was swooped a little bit.
But a little longer.
He had the Mike Pence. But just a little bit
gosh.
Longer.
That sounded about right.
If it wasn't him, it was definitely a woman with the I want to speak to your manager haircut. You know the I want to speak to your manager haircut.
Heck yeah.
It's short in the back and it get long in the front.
Yeah.
The white lady with the I want to speak to your manager haircut. It's like a T-Boz, but without seasoning.
I know that lady. I know her well.
Listen. So, look, and actually I put this in the comments. Let's see if I can.
Don't be phony, because we know. Well, I know your stance on this already, so don't be phony.
Listen, I put this in the comment, so I'm going to read what I put in the comment.
Just want you to know I'm gonna call you out if you be phony.
Oh, I ain't ever been phony. That ain't what I do. I normally tell what I tell. But listen, I'm trying to find my quote here because I wrote it down and it was really, really dope what I wrote. And I didn't feel like actually trying to make it up on top of my head. Plus, your man Aaron Cole's pops hit me up and was like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Kelly hit me up like, that's it right there. That's exactly what I was thinking. Because, shouts out to Kels and Aaron. Again, Aaron will be at Domination 2023. Get your tickets. It is all going down next Friday. Listen, so I can't find what I wrote, so I'm going to try to take it from the dome. Pause.
Go back.
Man, why you got me pausing up in here?
Go to the Instagram post where you wrote it at.
Okay, I got it here. So,
absolutely.
And I think I got more likes than everybody else. I did. I got more likes than everybody. Oh, and then that joint just disappeared. That's bad. I got more likes than everybody. You know how you be watching the joint like, man, do I get more likes than anybody else? I got more likes than everybody else on the chain. Am I the only one to do that?
Me and Kiera don't do that.
My bad.
I don't care because I'm usually saying something that's going to get me. Like if I was more public, if I was more famous, it'd probably get me canceled.
I'm one of those people that believe I'm often right. So I want to see if other people think I'm right too. You said that tracked, right? So listen, so I put before I lost it for the second time. I said, yeah, I think their approach was off. I do remember how in the late 90s and early 2000s, you would see more artists going from bars to worship or doing an altar call. And I enjoyed that shifting of the room and the experience that could create. With that being said, I don't think that every artist can do that, nor that every artist is being pulled by the Holy Spirit to do that. So, as a promoter, my goal is just to make sure Christian hip hop artists know that they have the freedom to do an altar call or go into worship if they are being led to. But to expect every artist to do this or expect them to do it every time is probably extremely entitled. Yeah, that was my response
and
there. In which, like I said, and extremely legalistic, that too. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, that's, you know, they was wilding, doing too much. I appreciate their heart, but you got to know how to.
Don't nobody roast you more than your own friends. Charles is in these comments roasting you.
quoting himself.
Nobody roasts you more than your own people, yo.
Like, what is my motivation, Charles? Like, what is my motivation?
That's
like,
hilarious.
if I read the script, like, you know what I mean? I'm just must be the one for the job. Anyway, so listen, that's kind of my stance on it. I think it's cool to happen when it happened, but to hold somebody to that all the time, that's kind of whack. It just might not be pulled that way. You know what I mean? Whatever case may be. Goss, did you really give your response on this? Because I know how you be with this too. You'd be like, get off the stage, nigga.
Get off the stage, bro, because you already probably 20 minutes over your time, and that altar call is going to take another 20 minutes. You got to go, okay? You are not the only person rapping on here. Now, if the last person wants to give an altar call, then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because the last person going is Please Pride the headliner. But at the end of the day, do your time and get off, bro. You feel me? But before quote through me that alley, I had some other thoughts as well, too. So here's the thing.
Okay.
Altar calls can be so superficial. They can be so flash in the pan. They can be so emotionally charged, momentary. I raise my hand. I want to get saved. Now the moment's over, so I'm going back to being a heathen on Sunday or Monday, whenever the concert's over. Right? And we come from the altar call culture. And we come from the culture of going to these Christian hip hop shows and trying to capitalize off of a moment. Right? But it doesn't work. Like all those people not all those people, but the majority of my friends that went to altar calls, they was at an altar call the next week too. And they was at the altar call 6 months later after that. Right? Like I've done all that before. You go to camp and you have an altar call and you break all your secular CDs and you throw them away. And then by next week you download them again. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think that altar calls in the way.
So should we not do altar calls ever because some people might be emotionally charged?
I'm getting to a point.
I mean, what are we talking about?
So this altar call that he's looking for is a like anybody can do an altar call. It's not something that is a mark of Jesus was there or Jesus wasn't there. Just because somebody didn't do an altar call, somebody did do an altar call. Like it shows his immaturity, I believe, as a believer, because you don't know what God is doing in somebody's heart without even an altar call happening. Mike could have said something in his lyric that could have stuck with somebody. Swoop said stuff in his lyrics all the time that I still can remember. I'm like, yo, that was a bar. And it like helps me in certain parts of my life that I'm thinking of a Swoop bar. And I've been to a Swoop concerts and he never does an altar call, right? So I think we're focusing so much on the event of the altar call and less of the transformational work of the Spirit. The Holy Spirit don't need an altar call to work, bruh. Like he can work whenever he wants to. You feel me? So he is overemphasizing this moment that doesn't necessarily need to happen in order for the Spirit to move. I'm not sure who else was on the concert. I know he mentioned Mission.
Mission was on it as well.
Got you. So he said Mission, Teezy, and some other people. Those dudes are pretty solid. And then there's usually, when I've been to concerts like that, you'll have somebody that will come up to you after the show And that's where you can really do ministry, or you can really talk to them and pray for them, and they can tell you stuff that, you know, and really speak into your life. But altar calls, I'm not saying we don't need them anymore, but I'm glad that we don't see as much of them as we did before, because I feel like just the what's it starts with an R. What's the word? Retention. Retention. Okay. The retention of people like staying with their salvation is not based off if you do an altar call or not. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's more than just that. But so I'm thinking this guy is either a new believer, he's an immature believer, or he doesn't believe in the Holy Spirit. One of the three. But yeah.
Okay. Kiera, you wanted to get in there before we wrap?
I think personally, I think a lot of times when I would go to church event, or I would go to these concerts and there would be altar calls, I felt like the altar call was the crescendo of the event. And for me, that's a dropping of the ball, because there should be something on the other side of the altar call. I feel like the altar call was how we scored points on the board. And the altar call should be the beginning, the springboard into discipleship, not the game-winning goal. And so to say that we needed an altar, first of all, Negro, where was security? Why did this Negro get on the stage?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You motioned at me. I'm performing. Then you look at my DJ. My DJ's like, who are you? Then you get on the stage, man, and nobody mollywopped. Let's give him a name. Nobody mollywopped Connor. Nobody.
I was thinking that name too. I was thinking that name too.
I was going with Ken,
but Brooks Brothers collar and threw him off the stage. I get this is a Christian event, but business is business. Connor, look at me, Connor. Connor, you might be watching this. Connor, don't be jumping on people's stages in the middle of their set because you feel like this should be an altar call. Carry you and your ESV Bible and your
Whoa. What the ESV do? We don't be
all I read the ESV.
I'm about to say that's Bible for real.
They don't read the King James. I've never met a Connor that read the King James.
That's true.
Or the New King James. So Connor,
leave ESV out of this.
I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Or your Message Bible. Take your ESV Message Parallel Bible and your Hillsong Worship playlist and your Brooks Brothers polo outfit and your WWJD wristband. Get out.
Hey. We're crossing lines, Kiera. That WWJD bracelet that saved some lives. That kept some people. That was Holy Spirit to some people. They was about to do some dirt, and they was like, "Oh man, what would Jesus do?" Listen,
get him out of here.
Yeah. Kind of got to sit down somewhere. Like I said, I would like to see it done some more, but I don't think it's a thing where everybody has to do it. I don't think everybody can do it for real. I don't just because you're an artist. I don't believe you got the skill set to really. Pull off an
and I
altar
think
call.
too that's a misconception on both sides when it comes to Christian artists. All Christian rappers,
in the chat.
All pastors aren't rappers, right? So it's like just because you see somebody entertaining you, that may be their assignment for that night. They don't know how to move with the Spirit in that way because that's not what they're supposed to do.
Mike Teezy in the chat.
You know what I'm saying? So Teezy, we got your back, my boy.
We do.
Yeah, man.
I told Connor to stay off your stage while you performing.
Yeah. Next time, security's gonna have to exit Connor off the stage.
Listen, Connor can't.
Connor was on the stage. Y'all let Connor get on the stage.
Not only did Connor get on stage. First of all, Connor's trying to signal the artist. Then Connor looks at the DJ. The DJ says no. Then Connor looks at the other artist. The other artist is like, "What do you want me to do?"
Was he
then
white?
Connor
Teezy
jumps on the stage and tries to tell people, "Sir, this is not your church.
Wait.
This ain't your show. This ain't your church. This ain't your venue. You're not the promoter. You're not the planner." Connor, get off the stage.
Teezy can tell us, is this a Connor or was this a Caleb?
This is definitely a Connor, right? Was this Connor or Caleb, Teezy?
The language was soft, and then you slide in the artist DM. This screams Connor.
It does though.
Screams. I have.
Let us know, Teezy.
Connor or Caleb?
My house.
Connor or Caleb, Teezy? Let us know. I figured it's got to be a Connor. But
I vacation at Camp Kiki Waka I Camp Kiki Waka every summer.
Out here looking like a poop.
Listen. Like I said, as much as I would like to see, and then what do y'all think? Like we talked about altar call.
We know it was a male.
So it was a male, yes, but was it a Wahite male?
It was a Brooks Brothers wearing cardigan. It was Carlton. Was it a Connor or a Carlton? Was it Connor
or Carlton or Carlton? It's not unusual.
I feel like it was a Connor. I feel like he had a side part, neatly combed to the side. I feel like he ties his shoes all the way to the top. He wears socks. He wears crew socks with his sneakers.
So we talked about the altar call element of it, but what about the worship element? Like I said, in the late 90s, early 2000s, we did see a lot of Christian hip hop artists go from bars to having everybody kind of in worship. We don't see that as much as in the space anymore. And I know every artist can't do it, but I don't think we see it a lot at all anymore. What y'all say about that?
I mean,
well, that's because
generation.
Yeah, it's new generation, and it's this is where the parts that I necessarily don't agree with, but we did take a lot of Jesus out of our concerts anyway. So because we are on that wave, people don't feel the need to do it anymore because they'll hit you with we don't want to make people uncomfortable. There could be people who don't know about Jesus in here and they might think it's weird. And so we've become way more trying to please everybody rather than standing, I'm a Christian, I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to be, I'm a Christian, it's a Christian hip hop show. We leading people to Jesus. But now it's more, let's not offend people or like weird it out. Or let's try to look, well, never mind. It's not cool. It's not a thing of being cool, but it's more so the latter two I said.
Key.
I've been a Christian for legitimately 25 years. And I'm going to say, as a Christian who's been to many Christian rap concerts and many Christian shows, some of these altar calls, it'd be mad corny. Like, come on, guys, lay your flags down. Put your all on the altar. Listen, if the Holy Spirit's gonna move, the Holy Spirit's gonna move. He don't need your help. He don't need your assistance. Is this a concept? But see, that's for I just feel like we over churchify, like we overdo everything. We be the most. It's the most. If the Holy Spirit's going to convict somebody, I know people who got saved in the shower. I know people who got saved on the steps rolling blunts. I know people who were rolling blunts in Bible pages and the Holy Spirit blew they high in the middle of them rolling up. We already knew that, Teezy. We knew it was a Connor. We've been knew that. I already gave him a personality, where he vacations and all that. I've been knew. The level of audacity spoke to his Connorness and sliding in your DMs. We knew that, Teezy. We got your back, okay? Anyway. I feel like though, but it's like why is that the responsibility of the artist? One is, was it at a church? If it was at a church, then it's not the responsibility of the artist to start an altar call. It's the responsibility of the church hosting the event. If it's not at a church and it's at a regular event and there's no pastor or leader hosting the event, like can the kids just not have fun? Are the kids not allowed to have fun? Are the kids not allowed to?
No, you definitely can, but at the same time, I understand the responsibility. I understand the responsibility as an artist because you have a platform and your platform is supposed to be leading people to Christ. Now, I'm not saying you should do it every single show, but you shouldn't not do it and take it out.
We've never had altar call domination, have we? Never.
No, we haven't.
We've never had one altar call domination.
But then I was mad because it was like 20 minutes over her time. But it was more so as an artist, you are looked at in the same respect as your pastor or as your spiritual influences from people who don't know you, but come to your concerts and see you, and you're marketing yourself as a Christian artist. They put that same respect on your name as a pastor, because if you
should not, is what we're saying, right?
Because if you fall, they're gonna be like they're gonna put you in the same category as the pastor that falls because you have Christian whatever before your name. So I don't shy away, and I don't think artists should shy away from, we don't do altar calls because I don't do that. That's not my responsibility. I think you should embrace it, but that's not to say that you have to do it every single event you go to. You should be led by the Spirit on that.
But we had this conversation before. We had this conversation about, is it the responsibility of a gospel artist or a Christian artist to give the gospel? Like, are they ministers or are they performers? We had this conversation before.
But this different convo though. For me, is this different convo?
How so?
This is because what this guy is saying is that, yo, you have to perform, and then at the end, you should give an altar call as part of your performance. And what I'm defending for the person giving the performance is that, yeah, if you feel led to, no doubt you should. Yeah. But and so I'm saying for the gospel singers, it's the same thing, but it's a different responsibility, if that makes sense.
How so?
Because no, did I say that right? I might have said that right. It's a different thing, but the same. That's it. Hold on. Let me get my thoughts together, y'all. What I'm trying to say is that it should not be something that should say you have to do this, but you shouldn't be opposed or upset if somebody asks you to do it. You shouldn't be like, no, I don't do that.
So okay, so let me ask you this then. Let's say y'all at Domination and Connor shows up at Domination and you in the middle of your set and Connor's like,
for one, Connor is not getting anywhere near the steps to the stage at Domination.
All Connor got to do is put on the hoodie and
elbowing him in his head. Like, what are you doing up here?
So you're rhyming and Connor's like, altar call, give him the gospel. And you like, what? And you keep rhyming. And then Connor looks at the DJ and says, altar call. And then Connor hops on stage and he's like, are you going to give him the gospel? Are you going to defend Connor?
That's not like,
yeah, my bad, Connor. The doors of the church are now open.
No, that's totally out of order. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the artists that are Christian performers should have the ability to and should be ready to at any moment if they feel like they should be in that vein. Like you shouldn't shy away from it if you call yourself a Christian artist, because that's essentially what you're doing. Like you're giving, like, you know what I'm saying? Like some people get it through your lyrics while you're rapping. Some people need that moment and they're like, okay, now I hear his heart and I hear what he's saying. So I'm not saying you have to do it at every single show, but you should know something and you should be able to do it if you call yourself a Christian. Like Key, you should be able to do it because you call yourself a Christian, and just because you're not on the stage, you should be able to lead somebody to Christ in the beauty salon.
Precisely.
That's what I'm saying. So if an artist says, I don't do that because for whatever reason, they should have the ability to do it. But if they choose not to do it, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's different.
Low-key, these altar calls be predatory too. Sometimes these altar calls be predatory.
What you mean?
Predatory altar calls too?
Yo, cause so I've seen instances where people are like scaring people into salvation. If you don't like you're not promised tomorrow, you could get hit by a truck when you leave here today.
Yeah.
Or listen, your soul is on its way to heaven. They know they on their way. Everybody who's not saved know they on their way.
I don't know that that's true, Key. I don't know that everybody know.
They don't. They know they. I don't think they know that they're going to heaven.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm saying is, it's almost glorifying like everything. It just for me from him it feels very like it feels very very predatory. Like we have to have an altar call. We got to get these people saved. We got to get no. You're not the paraclete, my nigga. Like there's only one. There's only one paraclete. There's only one. You are a reflector, not a receptor. Chill out. Get down. Stop motioning at the DJ. This ain't even your show. You pay the cover charge like everybody else, Connor. Chill out. Sit down somewhere. You ain't never had nobody sit down. That's why.
We can all agree Connor came in the wrong motive, wrong spirit, wrong way, all that. Connor was off all day. That we all can agree with that. Yeah.
I'm not mad at his heart.
And we all can agree. Yeah, no, I'm not necessarily mad at his heart, but with that heart, you gotta have a certain level of maturity or tact to be able to properly convey your point, and a maturity. That's what it is. There's a level of immaturity of putting your own whatever on another individual.
Oh yeah, I said that earlier.
The case may be. Yeah, and I think you did say that earlier as well.
Graciously. He wasn't even gracious. He wasn't kind. There was no fruit of the spirit evident. There were no gifts of the spirit evident in his speech. It was mad accusatory. It was mad rude. I got an issue with Connors. If y'all can't tell, Connors and Kearns get on my nerves.
Kiera's racist. If y'all didn't know,
I'm not racist. Okay, I told you I'm not in a position to be racist. I have prejudice.
I'm messing.
Tastemakers.
Classic. We do more than make a living, we make a life. When everything is dark, we are the light. We are the tastemakers. Aight. Let tomorrow tell the stories that we make tonight. We do more than make a living, we make